You were headed there. But
Al Jr. was on.
I screwed that up.
Al Jr. was on a qualifying run out there, and a rabbit. We were in the first turn. A rabbit goes running right in his line.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That rabbit's kind of like that raccoon that we saw, I don't know, 6-8 years ago.
Pieces.
You know, it got absolutely smothered. Yes.
Can we
beat up that beaver?
Can we try that again? I'd like to tell that story again, but say raccoon instead.
yeah,
you
I
already
think
told the story.
you were there in spirit.
Okay.
You were there in
We got
spirit.
it. We got you covered. But I'm glad everybody was naysaying. Everybody sitting at this table
Yeah, the Friday
was
night.
naysaying Jeff Johnson.
Oh.
And, or Jimmy Johnson, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to shit his pants when he's going 220. He's going to." Blah, blah. And when I saw that happen, and I was thinking about your comments a week or so ago, I was like, "No, this guy's deserves a steal."
He actually still might have shit his pants.
Well, I'm sure he did, but I think when he gets out there with the crowd, it'll be different. But no, that was impressive the way he held onto the car. He got back to speed. He didn't back off. He didn't change anything. He just kept going, and that was a good run.
I heard a stat this week. He has run more 500 miles races than the whole field that qualified for Indy combined.
Right.
You know, they're saying there's a reason why Colton Herta, who's a badass racer, who's probably top 5 in points, will not win that 500 race because he doesn't have the patience
for that long of a distance,
for that long of a period of time.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
So somebody like him that has 500 mile experience, obviously major experience, you know,
knows it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Correct.
Right. So yeah, Colton Herta's like just go balls out until your car dies. Right?
Yeah. The old Mario Andretti or Michael Andretti rule. Yeah, blow it up.
So anyway,
all right. So back to Carb Day stories. What's anybody got a fun Carb Day story?
Not really.
No, well, you
Link
don't
doesn't.
count Link's
Link
out.
doesn't.
You got a fun Carb Day story,
I got a few.
got a few.
I got to figure out what to tell. So the Carb Day I remember the most. Yeah, I kind of alluded to it last week. Yeah, I fell in love again on Carb Day, essentially after a coach who died and wasn't able to go with me. I just had so much more appreciation for it. Went with the same intentions I always do, right? I had, I don't know, probably 10 beers or so, and
last week it was 6.
No, that was Friday.
Okay.
This is actual Carb Day.
Okay, gotcha.
And just like that, you're like, oh man, I'm out of beers.
Dundee.
And then being from the West Side, I run into a bunch of people I went to high school with. Some of them you see out there every year. Some of them you haven't seen 10, 15 years. So I didn't sit down, right? You just kind of walk around and stumble into people. Some people are tailgating. Some people are cooking.
Literally.
Some people are just standing. Yeah.
Literally stumble.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, not early in the day, but yeah, later in the day for sure. And then my Achilles heel. Well, I have several, but actually I probably only have 2. You can't have anyway.
What's
going on?
Somebody starts doing shots and passing the bottle, like all West Side style.
Yep.
And I'm not a shot guy. Not a shot guy at all. I know better. And then I didn't really feel peer pressured into it. It's just like, well, I don't have anything else to drink, so here I'm doing it.
And I'm walking home. What's a big deal?
Yep.
Or something like that.
And so, that day ends with me not in very good shape. And I did not see a single race car that entire day.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of the irony of that story. You went to the track for Carb Day. It's really tough not to see a race car that entire day.
Correct.
Because
there's not that many people out there. I mean, there's a decent crowd, but there's not that many people out there.
That's a good effort.
You gotta try not to see a car.
That's a good effort. I'll give you some for that.
So I think that's the irony of the story, and people haven't been there like, oh, okay, whatever, you just hung out. I'm like, it wasn't that. I was on the move, and I just legitimately never saw a car. Or if I did, it was way too late in the day for me to remember. So.
Probably.
Dude, you're like nothing.
So I've been to Carb Day a few times, a handful of times maybe. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had at Carb Day was in the Turn 2 Suites. I don't know if we talked about this before.
I don't think we did.
But we were in. I had an opportunity to go into the Turn 2 suites.
I usually don't listen when you talk anyway, so you might have actually told the story.
So those are, to me, the best seats in the house. I mean, so a buddy of mine went there this past Sunday, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to the Turn 2 suites." I go, "They're the best seats in the house." He texted me about 15 minutes after being there. He goes, "Dude, you're absolutely right." He goes, "These seats are unbelievable. They're incredible. When the cars go by, depending on what suite you're in, at what level, you're literally looking down on top of their helmets when they come out of Turn 2 there. It's just, it was cool.
Because that's where they're coming out of the apex of the turn, so they're up, they're as close to the wall as they could possibly get right in front of those suites. So, yeah,
it was cool.
Carb Day is there's people that go right for the drinking part. There's people that go.
Isn't there a concert?
Yep, there's a concert. Again, that's sort of recent, last 20 years or so. But those concerts, depending on who's there, they can get so crowded. Yeah. It's not even fun to be there.
Right.
And at some point, I tried to get into Kid Rock, and it was the kind of funnel to get in there seemed too narrow, too crowded. I'm like, we're not going in there. This just doesn't feel right.
Not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm safer hanging
in the bands this year. Just saying.
Monsters of Rock. I've heard it's. Nobody looked it up. I'm sure.
It'll be.
There's a bunch of.
It's bunch 80s guys.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of 80s rock stars.
Correct. They played in different bands.
Yeah, they played in different bands and stuff. And I think it's going to be a good show. I don't think it's going to be. Oh my God! I'm so glad I came. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be good enough.
That's what she said.
What that crowd is. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I go back. You know what? Carb Day for me.
They're also playing Avon's graduation after Carb Day.
After Carb Day, they're coming out over there.
So that would be awesome. Actually, to have a graduation on Carb Day and get to walk across the stage and be like, "Thanks for my diploma," right?
Rick
Wouldn't
Springfield.
That'd be great.
And more stay in the time.
More stay in the time. Oh my gosh, dude.
Sebastian Bach.
Again, disappointed. Just saying.
That's okay.
Sorry, Tommy, you were going to kick off a Carb Day story.
Well, the reason why Carb Day on Thursday is such a big deal to me, I will never forget. It was my senior year in high school, and there were a lot of things I did in high school that I never asked parental permission. Just kind of snuck around and did them. So the week of Carb Day was senior skip day, and we've talked about that before. That was always the big deal. Skip school, go to the track. So I went to my mom, and for whatever reason, I had a stroke of consciousness and said, "Hey, Mom, how do you feel if I don't go to school on Thursday and go out to the track?" She's like, "You know what? You're a senior." And I was like, "Okay."
That's pretty solid.
That was like the best thing she ever did to me through my entire high school career.
So that's a green light to drink out there underage.
No. She did. Mom had a unique.
Did you drop acid?
She had a unique naiveness about her.
What the hell?
She wanted to believe.
Don't answer that.
She wanted to believe Tom was a good kid. But anyhow, so I got a green light, and I was like, so at 18 years old, you have a chance to go to the track on Carb Day, party, do all the stuff you shouldn't do, and knowing that you're not going to get in trouble because your parents know where you're at. That was a very freeing feeling.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it just was.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Thursday Carb Day will always hold, some kind of special
reverence.
Place. Yeah, reverence in my heart. Yeah. It's just not the same if it's not Thursday because of that relationship to that day and that first one that I got to really partake in without feel like I'm sneaking around or I was doing things I shouldn't be doing, but I still had a pass. I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble for skipping school, and my parents knew where I was at.
Yeah,
it sounds to me like she finally came around and felt bad for trying to convince you that you were crazy when you found the presents under the stairs. She's like, man, I need to make that up to Tom. All right, fine, go ahead and skip.
Another reference somebody's going to have to go back and dig up, or we're going to have to explain. So
that's got to be episode 2 or 3. By the way, this is episode 25.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that.
Well,
here we are. We just did, actually, yeah.
Is this on?
I think so.
All right.
Didn't forget.
Hey, by the way,
I just did that.
By the way, this is episode 25.
Are you kidding
Are
me?
you shitting me?
Yeah.
Wow.
25?
Shit, you're my favorite turd.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I thought.
Are you kidding? Seriously?
Moose out front should have told you, but apparently
Holy
not.
We're a
cow,
fourth of the way there.
So that's Carb Day. Carb Day leads
Moving into race day.
Yeah, moves
Well,
into
the
race
parade.
day.
The parade.
It's Saturday.
Parade on Saturday.
Saturday's got some good stuff.
It is like
So
the
who's
third
been to the
largest
parade?
parade.
Who's actually gone?
Yeah,
I've been there a couple
long time
Have you?
ago, but
When I was a kid, I used to go.
Yeah.
We used to go
We took
almost
the
every year.
kids. We took the kids a couple times.
Yeah, we've
I mean,
never been.
it was pretty
We've
cool
never
back then. They actually had celebrities.
Yes.
You know, you'd
Yeah,
see
legit.
some
Florence Henderson,
some
sure.
B-rate actors or whatever rolled through. I guess
James
this year
Garner would come
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. Yeah, Florence
yeah.
Henderson. I can't remember. There were
Jim
some
Neighbors would be
decent
out there.
decent names that were in the parade. This
They
year,
would
I
always
guess
bring in
it's-
like Indiana celebrities. So
This year, I'm guessing
The
if
girl
we
from Three's
applied,
Company and
if we
stuff like
applied
that.
in March, we could have probably
Joyce
been in
DeWitt.
this. We could have probably been in this parade if we applied in April. We are solid
so,
four. We
so
want
next
yes.
year we're doing the parade.
We're
Is
going
that
to
what I
apply
hear?
for it, and we're going to get in that son of a bitch. Yes.
I would
We're going to be sitting on the back of the Corvettes waving.
My
giving the parade
brother-in-law
wave.
has a convertible Camaro Indy 500 edition from like last year or whatever.
Oh, so they don't even need to
he's-
provide
we-
us
yeah,
a
they
ride.
don't need-
driver.
yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised we're all even talking to each other in this still. I mean, back in April, I would have put money down that none of us were even talking to each other. So
I wouldn't have gone that far.
I like you guys.
Yeah, this is a good thing.
So we all hold hands down and say
Oh,
kumbaya.
sure.
Let's
so we
honor
don't
it up.
so we don't float
honor
away.
it up.
Honor it up.
Yeah, let's not float away.
Saturday's got some things. They do Legends concert,
Yeah.
which is kind of new. They do Legends Day. I've been to Legends Day a few times. Sure. When they get the old cars out and go around the track,
Cool.
That's
Very
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty
Yeah.
cool
I
thing.
agree.
Yep.
Other than that, I can take or leave Legends Day. I've got, but they do a concert typically at the track this year.
This
Controversy,
year,
they moved
White
it
River
off-site.
Park.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. They always have that one car that breaks down too.
Yeah,
Right.
they got to push.
Do they push it or do they go out there and try to crank
Yeah, yeah.
I think they just leave it on the track for the next day.
I think those birds are.
Somebody's
We got a
killing a bird somewhere.
we got a blue jay fit going on out here in your yard.
I think they're in the midst of throws of passion.
I don't want to. I
They're
don't
in
want
the
to say.
throws of passion.
Not
That's out
true.
of season. That's
Not
out of season. Yeah, they would have already done that.
They're screwing in the fall.
Yeah.
Babies in the spring.
Huh?
I have
Who
so
knows?
many questions, but
Yeah.
we'll keep it on the
Yeah.
race
Go ahead.
topic.
Well,
ahead.
maybe
They hit that at the end of winter.
Baby birds are born in the spring, bro.
maybe that's
No,
next
I
week.
get it. I got two nests and one nest in the beer shed. And anyway,
You got a beer shed?
Yeah.
yeah, a bar shed. Yes.
Bar shed.
Bar shed.
Yeah, beer bar.
shed, bar, whatever.
Well, I've never been out there. to
We've
see
already
it.
established
I've never
he doesn't
been
do
invited.
shots,
Actually,
so
that's not
bar
true.
shed.
We invited you to the Christmas party.
Tomato.
Yep.
The pool and the pond. We
Yeah.
have a pool and a pond. Pond's good for you.
Okay, great. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm good.
Are you serious? You don't know where that line's
Is
from?
that from a
No, I
movie?
don't.
A movie you've seen?
Caddyshack. Are you serious?
So,
Oh, another movie Jeff has seen that he hasn't seen.
so, but Sunday's the
I'm
race,
outta here.
right?
Yeah. Sunday.
Sunday's where it all happens.
Yep.
And I don't know, Jeff. You go to the race a decent amount. There's just so much tradition, history, everything there that I don't think it means as much unless you've kind of seen it in person.
Live, yeah.
It takes on a totally different.
It does.
It just ups it a couple of levels for me.
Absolutely. When they go through the pre-race festivities and national anthem, the priest or pastor comes out and gives the invocation, and then they play taps, blow taps, however you want to say it. I mean, it's
Back home again in Indiana.
There are 400,000 people in there, and when they play taps, you
Yeah.
can literally hear a pin drop in that place. I mean, it's so solemn. And you think about, you think about those that have fought and died for us to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about. Memorial Day is that's what it's all about, and it's cool. I mean, it raises the hair on the back of your neck.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that's most important is that if you've done this or you've been there and you've been a part of it, it is it's very emotional
it is.
to be there while it's happening. And I think unless you've actually been there to experience it, it's not the same. If you've watched it on TV,
On TV, yeah. TV never does it
Yeah,
justice,
you don't get it. But if you've been there and you get it,